He put an end to the man who destroyed his life, only to meet his own brutal and merciless end at the hands of a gun. His body fell into the shadows, marking the end of his path, until suddenly his eyes flew open in pure shock. He literally cheated death by jumping back in time to a moment when he was still just a weak kid being bullied, long before his family disappeared. This time, he has the ultimate cheat code. He knows exactly what will happen before it does. He's about to grab crazy damage skills right from the start, smash bosses so hard they can't move, and gain a huge 1800% extra XP boost to level up fast. Why try to act like a spoiled, arrogant rich kid around him? Get ready to be wiped out with a single kick. He's about to turn the server's top players into jokes by leading crazy squads he's never seen before, moving like an untouchable ghost, and making elite monsters look bad right in front of them. They stole his entire past, but now he has risen to become a legendary force ready to bring the world to its knees. The silence breaks with a gunshot, and our boy pulls the trigger without hesitation, striking the target, Saw Shu, who falls backward while his panicked guards spray bullets that barely miss, leaving him bleeding on the floor where he mocks the dead man's wealth and whispers that he has finally avenged his parents. Reaching for a fading light, he flat out rejects this ending, his vision going black as he keeps shouting that he won't give up. Then, his body dives into a pitch-black void, pulsing with strange energy until the darkness vanishes to reveal a familiar ceiling and window, causing his eyes to snap wide open in pure shock before he leaps out of bed, totally confused about what just happened. He grabs his chest in shock, barely believing he made it past Saw Shu's men, until he spots his old dorm room and realizes he might have actually traveled back in time. Then, he sees a TV ad for a new game called Conviction just released, and that's when it finally clicks that he has truly returned. He jumps to his feet, snatches up a photo frame to prove he is Nya Yen, and stares in silence at the picture of the parents he lost in a terrible accident. Remembering that around this time his family got rich trading metals with the government, so right after his dad started a refining company and the money just started pouring in. But their luck ran out quickly, and a dark fate returned to chase them, with Chao Shu's gang ruining everything and causing his parents to die. Staring at himself in the mirror, he realizes the luxury life gave him made him weak, leaving only a desperate need for revenge, but holding on to this second chance, he promises never to lose anything ever again. He thought about how Conviction had completely reshaped the world and turned people like Tel Shu into filthy rich tycoons, a place that felt like Earth's second chance where he used to be a level 180 thief. He checks his phone and sees the game has only been running for a week, giving him plenty of time, and since the best players in the world are probably just at level 7, his memory gives him an unstoppable edge. Then he remembers his last bit of cash, enough only for the cheapest gaming helmet, and gripping his shirt in pure rage, the kid swears he'll make Saw Shu pay for ruining his life. Fully dressed, he confidently declares that things will go differently this time, and as night falls, the light in his room is the only one still on in the entire building. Clutching the helmet, he realizes that even if he's a bit late to the action, this second chance is throwing him straight to the top, so he slips on the VR gear without a single thought. The screen flares to life, logging him into Conviction and dropping him straight into the choice of his first zone on the map. The world is divided into light, dark, and neutral empires, with the Greenland Empire standing out as a human nation ruled by its elders. The story also introduces the Saturn Empire, a super cool alliance of dwarves, orcs, and elves, while the evil side is made up of scary demon and undead tribes. For those who like things a bit cooler, there's the neutral group led by giants, and since he used to be a shadow thief, he stays with that class to keep his advantage. The system instantly locked him in as a thief, confirmed his spawn point in Greenland, and asked for his new avatar's name. He types in Nirvana Flame without missing a beat, and the system confirms the character has been created successfully before sending him off. In a sudden flash of light, he appears at the teleport point in Carol City, deep inside Greenland, and as he looks down at his own hands and feels how real the world around him is, he can't help but smile because he knows he is finally home. He pulls up the menu to pour 3 points into strength and 2 into agility, wisely avoiding the rookie mistake of the past, then spots a teleporter linking the city to nearby villages and notices a traveler hawking daggers as a steal for 2 copper coins, but he just smirks because he remembers they only cost 1 coin in another town, so that old scam won't fool him. As we walk by, a loud paladin shouts about a stealth book for 6 coins to draw a crowd, but since everyone complains the price is crazy, our hero walks right up to the stall anyway. He asks the seller for a discount, but the guy stubbornly insists on 6 coins, so our hero remembers a hidden chest in an unknown area where he can grab the skill for free. He cleverly offers to buy the book now for free in exchange for a secret farm spot that yields tons more, but the seller laughs it off as nonsense, calls him crazy, and tells him to leave. The kid tells the guy to calm down and then drops a bombshell about a secret Murloc mage farm in Lakeshire, leaving the guy speechless as he rattles off the exact hiding spot. The paladin is stunned that a nobody knows so much, so he believes the boy, accepts the deal, tosses him the book, and decides he can easily get even more. With the deal finally done, the seller named Flying Stone excitedly grabs the map to the Murloc camp and dashes off, leaving our hero to ask him to hold on to a special skill book for later. Promising to send him the best drops, the paladin casts a scroll and vanishes into thin air, then instantly travels to Tracktown to hunt down a mystery chest with his new invisibility power. He zips away so quickly that he disappears into the shadows, turning into an invisible ghost who darts through the map. He races out of the city, weaving a wild zigzag path into the forest and charging forward without ever slowing down. Soon, he steps into a dangerous zone teeming with wildcats, from level 2 to 5, filling the entire area with beasts. Perched on a tree branch, he spots a secret chest guarded by a fierce mob of level 5 monsters, and knowing that such chests can hold legendary treasures with insane loot, his excitement grows. Since silver chests vanish once opened, finding one in the open is pure luck, and even though he is way too weak, he doesn't worry because dying at level 0 means he loses nothing. The kid refreshes his stealth skills and carefully slips through the bushes, dodging every cat that patrols the area. He drops from the tree, runs faster because he only has 2 minutes left, just as a cat's glowing red eyes appear from the dark to spot him. He barely jumps at the last second to avoid falling, knowing that even one mistake ends the game, as he leaps wildly between branches to stay hidden. With a silent landing, he holds his stealth position, slowly approaching the box while watching his patience bar crawl forward, sweating nervously as he waits for his invisibility to wear off. From above, the beasts sniff everywhere but find nothing until the lock finally clicks after 27 seconds of pure anxiety. He pulls out the stolen treasure with a massive, arrogant grin, holding the skill book high above his head, completely pumped that he pulled this off. As he reads the description, he knows he just landed a massive hit that deals 150% extra damage, and landing such a powerful skill right at level 0 means grinding will become incredibly easy. He grabs the book immediately, masters the skill, and feels ready, but just as strange trouble is about to start, his invisibility fades and the cats spot him instantly. Before he could even blink, a huge group of cats jumped on him and pinned him down, but as they swarmed with claws, he just smiled and thanked his furry protectors for the free stuff he got. Knowing that dying wipes his XP and gear, he doesn't mind at all since he's only level 0, and right after the red game over screen flashes, a new message pops up telling him he dropped his basic gloves and that the system is already bringing his body back to the nearest city. Suddenly appearing in a flash of blue light in the town square, the kid finds this free fast travel super convenient and decides it's time to kick off phase 2 of his leveling plan. He dashes across the rooftops, leaving the expensive city far below, and remembering a secret quest since he can't afford the next step. He rolls up to the Hunter Klaus to start a quest farming 20 giant rat skulls, then heads to Farmer and to take on another job to kill 50 of those same rats. Right then, the pharmacist spots our boy, unlocks a hidden quest, and instantly agrees to the job of gathering 21 rat tails. Once he leaves the city, a huge paw smashes through the tall grass to find a level 1 giant rat with exactly 53 hit points. Without a second thought, our boy jumps into the air with his dagger ready, lands a powerful hit for 21 damage, and shouts how amazing this skill is. With the beast dead, a skull and tail drop into his inventory, but he is shocked when a golden light suddenly shines on the dirt. It turns out his new tough leather legging gives him a massive defense boost, making him worth 7 copper coins at auction, but just as he starts thinking about selling it, a whole pack of giant rats swarms him, only for him to calmly knock 2 of them out with a powerful attack. He zooms past everything, wipes out the pests in an instant, and after a solid hour of hard work, heads back to the village with his pockets stuffed full. With a grin, he packs up his 34 copper coins and 3 health potions, lists his leggings for a big sale, and then bolts straight to the weapon shop. He dashes over to the blacksmith stall, where a merchant is loudly boasting that his gear is the very best in the whole region. Without any small talk, he demands a quick and deadly level 0 crossbow for just 40 coins, and the seller hands him a tiny but mighty triple-shot model for 35. After sealing the deal, he rushes off with a fresh stack of ammo and a brand new weapon, so pumped he doesn't even bother to wave back at the merchant's bored goodbye. With his gear ready, he's about to face the wild buffaloes, but tackling a level 10 beast this early would be pure madness since the game brutally punishes you for fighting monsters that are too strong. Armed with knowledge from the future, he is sure to take down the area boss all by himself even at level 0, sneaking into the infested plains like a ghost, slipping through the rocky terrain and dropping down through a narrow crack in a cliff to hit the perfect spot he remembers for his plan. Peering down, he sees his lone target right in the middle of the huge herd, a level 8 wild buffalo leader with 300 HP, and grinning at how perfectly the cliff angle and his crossbow's range align, he fires 3 bolts straight into the beast instantly. He barely lands a single hit that deals 1 point of damage, which proves just how brutal the level gap is, and he reloads his weapon without even blinking, really feeling the crazy weight of the game's penalty system. He doesn't care about sweating because he has 9,000 bullets to wear down the boss, so he keeps firing at the buffalo leader until the boss is exhausted. The monster's rage boils over, its bloodshot eyes locking onto the shooter, and before anyone can blink, it charges at full speed to find where the shots are coming from. The beast gets stuck on a flaw the kid knew from a past life, leaving it helpless while our hero unloads his crossbow with zero mercy. With bullets flying non-stop, the stash of ammo shrinks from 8,000 down to just over 5,000, and 3 hours later, the furious buffalo leader is still roaring in frustration while completely stuck on the rock. The kid is sweating bullets, wishing he hadn't used up 4,000 bullets because the monster is still standing, but he refuses to quit and keeps blasting it without stopping. After surviving a hail of attacks, the boss finally drops dead, letting our hero leap into the gap to grab a massive 1,800% XP bonus that blasts him up to level 2, then he sprints to the glowing spot to see what treasure the monster left behind. He spots a bronze horn dagger and 5 copper coins he fought hard to earn, knowing that rare gear like this only drops 0.1% of the time, deals 20% more damage, and gives extra stats, which means he figures the dagger is worth about 3 silver coins on the market. Right then, since his leggings cost 8 copper, Flying Stone the Paladin asks for them and he agrees to sell immediately. The seller was already calling him boss and excited about farming 2 stealth books, but our MC played it cool and just asked for a perception skill book in return, which his new ally instantly agreed to. He quickly makes up an excuse, saying he deleted an old character to start fresh as a thief, and then Flying Stone asks about the Murloc dungeon since his whole squad just got wiped there. The kid jumps right in and says he'll show them the whole place for just 2 silver coins, so the eager paladin rushes off to convince his captain to pay up. Once he hangs up, he scrambles down from the rocks and zooms back to Track Town. All he wants to do now is get his shiny new dagger checked out. Knowing the fee is just 10 copper coins, he quickly realizes the dagger is worth a fortune and eagerly pays the NPC to unlock its secret powers. That bronze weapon needs only level 1 to give him plus 18 attack and plus 5 strength, making it an unbeatable tool for crushing the early game. Now that he's got his gear and skills ready, he just needs a way to heal in battle, so he decides to master the combat bandage trick since he already understands how the game's money works. Heading straight to the pharmacy, he immediately grabs 2 water-breathing potions, pays the person inside, and finally unlocks the first aid skill. Right after that, he drives up near a village at the edge of the huge Rando Lake, takes a shortcut through the area, spots some other players, and stays sharp to avoid any trouble. When he notices the village is filled with level 3 monsters and decides to sneak past, a system warning suddenly pops up on his screen. As the triumphant guild declares they are wiping the map and kicking every solo player out, he instantly recognizes the name and feels a bitter taste in his mouth. Remembering how arrogant they used to be, he vows to take them down one by one, instantly vanishing to slip past the fish guards in the enemy camp without leaving a trace. But his skills run out and a fireball blasts him in the back for 23 damage, so the system logs an attack from a player named Purple Fire. The arrogant mage waves him off, but our hero spots his guild mark and instantly decides to fight, knowing that the only way to win against a mage is to get close and never back down. Seeing the enemy's 2-second cast time, he rushes in at the perfect moment and lands a massive blow with a vital strike. Furious, the mage yells that the whole zone is locked down by their guild before blasting the kid away with a blazing ring of fire. Eating 39 damage sends our hero blasting backward in a sea of fire, but he instantly gulps down a health potion to restore 89 HP and bounce back. He strikes again with 36 damage, shrugging off the mage's insults while his rival panics and blasts fire to push him back. But the kid sidesteps the blow and rushes back into battle, leaving Purple Fire confident he's won and ready to strike again, only to discover the thief still has health left. Just as he casts the spell, our hero dives to the ground to avoid it, then immediately springs up with his dagger ready to use his special strike ability and close the distance, leaving the stunned enemy wondering how the kid managed to survive that attack. Just as he's knocked out, he spots the potion buff but can't find where the money came from, so our hero grins and tells him to hunt down those answers once he returns to town. He grabs the bronze staff that fell and bolts away before the rest of his guild arrives, only for the enemy to spot their fallen teammate and instantly begin the chase. Realizing this, the kid floors the pedal to try shaking the group loose, but right in the middle of his getaway, a warrior shouts that he isn't getting away. He lunges with his giant sword to slash the MC, but the kid dodges on pure reflex, then stands on the cliff edge and drinks a potion to leave his enemy desperate. As he watches the attack happen, 2 other guild members sprint toward him with all their might, trying to squeeze him against the ledge and trap him for sure. With a smug grin, he gets ready, then dives straight into the lake to escape by the skin of his teeth. Swimming deep down, I left the squad of losers empty-handed on the shore, where they just whined about having no potions to chase me. Suddenly, the squad leader storms in, furious about the kid who escaped, and orders his team to question the defeated mage to find out the target's name. Down below, our hero hears his name called from above and vows revenge, but now that he's safe, he remembers the treasure chests waiting at the bottom of Rando Lake. By swimming a little farther, he finds exactly what he wanted, a special pearl that lets him breathe underwater for half an hour. But the moment he grabs the item, a trident nearly slices his head clean off, and he quickly realizes he's swam right into a giant nest of fishmen. He knew he couldn't fight those monsters underwater, so when the alarm rang and the whole swarm prepared to strike, he had to act fast. Suddenly, a huge boom erupts right above their heads, and the frightened monsters ignore the boy to rush straight up to the surface. He chuckles to himself, thanking the guild for drawing the mob away and clearing his way, then follows the path until he finally arrives at his ultimate destination, Heart Island. As he steps out of the water and takes a deep breath of relief, a sudden scream cuts through the air, and he spots Yao Yao in serious trouble. The moment he recognized his old friend from a past life, he felt shocked by the lucky coincidence and began to believe this might really be fate. As the chaos returns, she spots him and fears he's about to target her again, so without hesitation, our hero leaps over the mage to stand beside her. She lands a perfect hit on one water monster while casting her holy power on another nearby at the exact same moment. The two move as one, wiping out the threats in a split second, so the mage sighs with relief and thanks him for the help. He stays cool, claims it was nothing, and introduces himself as Nirvana Flame, while the girl whispers his name and looks deep in thought. Staring at him, the mage doubts if this is the Nia Yen she used to know, so she introduces herself as Yao Yao, thanks him once more, and sends a friend request. Without hesitation, our hero accepts her explanation and asks why she's all the way out here on this lonely island, and after she shares her own mission, he realizes they both have reasons to be here, so he suggests they team up. The mage thinks that's a great idea and hands over 12 silk threads at once to say thanks, leaving our hero totally surprised. Knowing how precious she is, he happily accepts her gift of coins, but right then a giant water spider lord jumps out of the lake and catches her completely by surprise. As the impact knocked the system back, it flashed a message that the official party was formed, so the kid didn't hesitate, rushed forward, landed a powerful hit, and dealt 52 damage. Immediately after, Yao doesn't just stand there, she casts her holy spell and blasts the spider with light magic, dealing a solid 70 points of damage. He dives out of the way, shouts for the mage to retreat, and takes the beast's fury so she can strike from a safe distance. With a swift crossbow shot, he rams bolts deep into the beast to drain its life, then the girl unleashes her strongest holy magic in quick succession to shatter the target's remaining health and finally slay the spider lord right where it stands. After taking a deep breath, the mage admits to himself how strange it feels that the fight was so easy and they moved as one, then notices his ally lost in thought and asks if everything is okay. She asks why a top player goes it alone, and he says he likes it that way, so she quickly invites him to help her team in the Dryad Forest. Holding the invitation, he asks her about her team's defense numbers to see how dangerous they might be, and she bluntly replies that her warriors have a total defense rating of 53. He warns her that her current gear won't be enough to survive the dungeon boss, who demands 60 armor, and she drops her jaw in shock at these secret details that no one else on the server knows yet. Since her team is stuck on the defense cap, he confidently offers to lead the run himself, and though she hesitates to ask her captain for a random player, she agrees to try, so the kid quickly points her toward the boss's dropped loot. He checks the drop, finds a perfect bronze silk gauntlet for mages, and without hesitation hands it to the girl, leaving her flustered. To calm her down, he shows her the rare silk and secret assassin book he kept, and feeling much better, the mage happily accepts the gift without any more trouble. Right then, the system chimes a warning that the server is shutting down in 3 minutes, so she races against the clock to say her goodbyes to her MC and get ready to log off safely. As he waves goodbye to his new friend and ends his intense workout on a great note, the boy pulls off his helmet to find that the sun has already risen. As he slipped into his shoes, he realized that while leveling up in the game was essential, he also needed to train his real body hard, especially since his nemesis Tao Shu was already rolling deep with his minions, leaving him no room to fall behind. Just as our MC was jogging alone through the city streets, a truck suddenly spun out of control and charged straight at a random girl. Without even stopping to think, he lunges forward and shoves her aside, taking the blow himself and rolling across the hot pavement before struggling to his feet in pain as he hears her calling his name. As the kid stares in shock at the person he just saved, Xia Yao helps him up and immediately starts scolding him when she sees his bleeding arm. As she runs to get a bandage, the boy is stuck in the painful memories of her past suffering caused by Tao Shu's gang. Snapping back to reality, Xia Yao wraps his arm with a bandage and tells him to be more careful, but when the kid just stares at her and gives a genuine smile, she gets completely flustered. He jokingly tells her he's now in charge of her because he thinks she's super cute, but Xia Yao gets so flustered that she quickly changes the subject, says goodbye, and drives away. As she drives away, she can't help but wonder if he's really Nirvana Flame because he's acting so confident lately, while he just smiles and immediately focuses on getting stronger to ruin Tao Shu's plans. Suddenly, his phone starts ringing with a call from his buddy, Tang Yao, who yells through the speaker to find out where he's been hiding and orders him to meet up right now. So relieved to hear his voice, our MC remembers how much his friend once helped him and, knowing his tragic past fate, he vows to save him the moment he appears, while Tang Yao grabs his shoulder in excitement and learns the kid has already become a level 2 thief. Stunned by his progress, his friend pulls him into a safe PvP lounge to show off his level 3 account. And of course, Tang Yao loves the betting even though he keeps losing, so the moment they walk in, his rival Wei Kai starts trash-talking by joking that Tang Yao is just his personal ATM. Seeing our hero, the wealthy kid in the preppy outfit starts making fun of him, asking if he's looking to get his butt kicked all over again, while Tang Yao pulls his friend aside to calm him down and act like his personal bodyguard. Seeing the kid so calm, the rival wonders where this sudden confidence came from, so Tang Yao jumps straight into the fight, betting $200 right away. All eyes are fixed on the screen as his level 3 mage faces the rival berserker, a match our MC knows is a nightmare for any wizard. The battle begins on a vast, flat arena where our hero sees there is no room to dodge, so his friend is about to get destroyed. Right then, another player steps up to talk trash and challenges our boy to a quick one-on-one, so he accepts on the spot and warns the guy he's only playing one match and won't bother with any small bets. Fuming at his arrogance, the guy throws down his entire stack of $700, pitting his level 2 thief against the level 2 ranger on the screen. As they stumble into a bamboo forest that makes our hero smirk, the rival spews insults while our MC instantly activates stealth to vanish into the bushes, only for the confused ranger to charge forward and call the kid a coward. Except he can't find his target anywhere, ending up completely clueless as he tries to hunt him down, so hiding way up high, our MC uses his 10 years of gaming experience to completely wipe out any trace of his tracks. He leaps down from above to catch the surprised ranger off guard, dealing a heavy 40 points of damage and leaving him with just 70 health points. Panicked and dazed, the rival spins around trying to guess where the blow landed, but it's already too late, and the kid stares him down with cold eyes, whispering that playtime is finally over. He immediately followed up with his best move, a brutal kick that did 70 damage and completely emptied the poor guy's health bar right then and there, ending the fight instantly as his body faded into pixels while the whole crowd stood in shocked silence, unable to believe how quickly it all ended. Our MC gives a casual smile while feeling a twinge of guilt for crushing the new ranger, leaving the shocked loser staring at his seat in disbelief. From afar, Wei Kai stares in shock, realizing that the timid boy who used to get bullied has suddenly become a skilled fighter, and he can't believe this strange change. Walking over to check on his friend, he learns that Tang Yao lost twice and owes $1,200 because a rich kid's anti-magic aura neutralized the whole class, only for our hero to explain that the aura wasn't actually that strong and his friend just mistimed his spells, which confuses his buddy enough to ask where he learned such advanced tactics. He tosses his winnings to his stunned friend without even answering, but the moment passes as Wei Kai's crew rolls up and one of his goons immediately looks ready to start a fight. Furious and shouting, the bully swings a wild punch to teach him a lesson for stealing their money, but Nia Yen calmly blocks the blow and locks a tight grip on the guy's wrist. With a lightning-fast twist, our hero wrenches the guy's arm and slams him to the floor, his cold glare reminding him of all the hard training from his past life that was just for this moment against Chao Shu's thugs. Seeing this, Tang Yao drops his jaw in shock at how badass his friend suddenly became, while the rest of the henchmen freeze in fear and get called cowards by their boss. Wei Kai stares down the kid and sees he's changed, then a blue-haired rich boy steps up to fight for his friend who just got knocked around. Nia Yen crossed his arms and smirked, mocking the weakling, and dared the rich kid to a duel only if the bets were huge. With a confident grin, the rival offers 1,000 a round, but Tang Yao calls it unfair due to their skill gap, only for Nia Yen to ignore him and snap his fingers, raising the bet to 3,000. Super confident, the rich kid instantly agrees, convinced a level 2 thief can't possibly win, while Tang Yao panics and grabs his friend, asking if he's actually crazy for betting that much money. He puts on a cool act to borrow the cash, and even though Tang Yao yells at him, she still stands by his side as their fight begins, pitting the thief against the blue-haired berserker. As we step onto the vast, grassy plains arena, Tang Yao looks worried and warns that this open field is a terrible hiding spot for a thief. While the berserker trash-talked and offered to change the map, Nia Yen calmly refused and vanished into stealth right then. Sprinting through the grass, he turns into a blur and vanishes from sight, leaving his furious rival frantically searching everywhere, trying to figure out where he went. The berserker spots that the swaying grass might betray the kid, so he uses a wind power to blast the entire field and catch any movement in the grass. But then the wind picks up so strong that he loses the kid, and in his frustration, the big guy starts spinning his sword wildly through the grass, hoping to hit just about anything. The rival is shocked to see the thief using the grass against him, so our MC stays perfectly hidden and waits for the next gust of wind before striking. The berserker gets into a fighting pose, watching the kid move too slowly until a sudden gust of wind sweeps through the arena, shaking the grass everywhere. Just as things seem settled, Nia Yen suddenly pops up from behind and lands a heavy hit for 35 HP, leaving the panicked rich kid to swing wildly at air while our MC steps back safely to dodge the counterattack. Furious, the enemy swings his giant sword in a deadly whirlwind to hit everyone around him, but Nia Yen knows this move leaves him too slow to recover at the very end. Feeling sure he'd won, the berserker didn't realize his rival was thinking the same thing, but the moment his sword hit the dirt, Nia Yen saw his chance to strike. Using the delay and fading wind to his advantage, he moves silently through the grass, pops his vital strike, and becomes a red blur beside the paralyzed man, shocking the crowd with his perfect timing and landing a clean hit that deals massive damage, causing the rich kid to scream. With just 34 health points left, he panics and charges a fiery slash, gripping his flaming sword to make one last desperate swing at our hero. The video cut to a quick studio ad, shouting out Nia Yan's own story, Rebirth of the Thief Who Roamed the World, as a perfect binge for the weekend. As the weekend wraps up with updates and special events, Tang Yao screams at his friend to move out of the way just as a fierce attack comes flying in. Nia Yen ignores the danger and charges into the fight, taking a fiery slash to the face that deals 56 damage because he still has plenty of health left. The berserker, shocked that the kid survived the hit, calls him a cocky brat and then chains another skill to his sword to fire off a linear slash. As the glowing red blade slices through the air straight for our hero, a terrified Tang Yao screams that this stun attack could mean game over. At the very last moment, he leans away to dodge the strike, then grips his dagger and sees that the attacker's hit zone is actually smaller than the reach of his weapon. Without hesitation, our hero charges forward to meet his foe, his dagger crashing into the berserker with such force that the giant is knocked backward. After taking a hard blow and losing all his health, the rich kid is defeated, but Nia Yen shrugs off the 40 damage and decides that winning is still winning. With a grimace of victory and a few scratches, the win screen appears to seal the deal as the tough guys are left stunned, unable to believe how the kid read the game so perfectly. As soon as they return to the duel lounge, the preppy kid rips his helmet off in shock while Tang Yao cheers for the impossible victory, but Nia Yen just shrugs it off as bad luck. As he hugs his friend and asks to learn the mage's ways, our hero instantly agrees, while the losers try to slip away and the master, Tang Yao, shouts for him to pay up the bet. Turning back to them, Wei Kai promises to honor his bet and even invites the boys to his bar, but he immediately spins around to tell his crew to pack up and go. When a goon questions the move, the boss explains that avoiding a grudge with this rookie is far better than fighting him, so after celebrating a huge payday with a dinner out, Tang Yao and his friend agree to team up in the game later. Skipping straight to night, we see his apartment building from the outside, then watch him jump right back into his room and start doing crunches. He flips over to crush some heavy push-ups before logging into conviction with plenty of energy left in the tank. As he snaps on his VR headset, he recalls his promise to team up with Cha Chao for a dungeon run, only to find himself spawning right beside a river in the game with a notification flashing on his screen. After receiving payment from Flying Stone, the guy accepts a friend request from Tang Yao and decides to join a dungeon run instead of just selling guides. For now, his main focus is finally handing in the secret quest he's been waiting on, so he walks up to Dr. Blevins to confirm he's already collected 31 threads. After thanking him for his hard work, the NPC hands back the items, decides to teach him a new skill called Combat Bandage, and he notices the quest progress is stuck at only 20%. Noticing something totally off, he quickly realizes this has to be one of those huge chain quests, and after Blevins asks for even more silk threads, our hero agrees without any trouble. Immediately after, a new message pops up on his screen. A girl calls him by his username to tell him the whole squad is already gathered. He answers that he's on his way, then zooms straight to the city to focus on farming the dungeon, while Tang Yao waits at their meetup spot wondering where in the world his friend has gone. Slipping up to him, Nia Yen whispers his partner that the Dryad King is their target, only for Tang Yao to spot a group of players approaching them in the open plaza. As the crowd waves and shouts the MC's name, Yulan, his friend is so stunned by the girl's beauty he quietly asks how he knows them. As the pink-haired girl pleads with him not to embarrass her in front of the whole squad, a thief named Chen Bo watches from the back with a suspicious glare. Peering closely at the boy, Yulan asks if he's really the thief meant to guide their escape, and with total confidence, he promises to lead them safely to freedom on one condition. He made it crystal clear he's the boss and everyone must follow his every order, while Chen Bo immediately complained, fearing this rookie will drag the whole party down. Yulan calls out Chen Bo for his tantrum and backs up the MC, which makes Chen Bo even angrier, so she apologizes to Nia Yen and tells him to go ahead with the party invite. He lays down the law, warning that no one who tries to ruin the run will get mercy, and right then a system message pops up confirming the party is finally formed. Right after, a bunch of players start joining up, including the guild leader Yulan and Yao, who crosses her arms and declares that anyone who doesn't listen to our MC will be kicked out on the spot. Looking so salty, Chen Bo finally joins the party and steps up as leader, promising to pay every member 10 silver coins if he messes up. Hearing that wild bet, the whole team is stunned by the huge amount of money he's risking, so Yulan whispers to Cha-Cha, who proudly claims she knew he was one of a kind. Taking charge, the leader asks everyone to post their stats in the chat, starting with the main tank, and introduces himself as Plain Water, who has 230 HP and good defense. After the rest of the crew began listing their stats, a player named Pumpkin hesitated, so Nia Yen immediately ordered the tank to buy a speed potion and told Pumpkin to grab a strength one. Overwhelmed by the rising costs and terrified of wasting dozens of copper coins, Chen Bo eagerly complains that anyone could just spam potions to get a clear. But Tang Yao won't back down and directly challenges the hater to pay his share, which makes the guy fly into a rage and step up only to be insulted as a cheapskate. After Xiao Shang questions the need for so much preparation until he reveals they are running on expert mode, the leader decides to trust him and tells everyone to go buy their items. Nia Yen quickly wraps up their shopping and declares the squad ready, so they head straight to the dungeon entrance where they find a huge stone slab blocking the way. The leader pauses the crew and steps forward to touch the stone, but the moment his finger hits it, a message appears warning that touching it might wake ancient spirits with a magical whistle. The game even warns him about dark elves lurking in the area until he finally starts the run, instantly revealing 5 different difficulty choices when he opens the menu. Without wasting time on small talk, our MC instantly jumps into expert mode with ease, triggering a blinding flash of light that blasts the entire squad into the map while system messages confirm their arrival in the expert forest, leaving the panicked party to wonder if they accidentally hit the wrong button and if there's any chance they can survive this run. But Yulan shuts down that idea, knowing he had this exact trap planned all along, which sends Chen Bo into a panic as he accuses the kid of sabotaging them just to steal their progress points. Nia Yen stands stone-faced, telling the haters that if they want to cry about him leaving, fine, but he knows exactly how to win, while Yao steps forward to defend the boy, reminding everyone that she was the one who personally invited him. The salty thief quickly backs away and insists his beef isn't with the healer, but he's furious inside because he still doesn't get why she's defending some random guy. The leader insists it's easy because the enemies have just a bit more health and a boss at the end, but the blonde girl remains skeptical, knowing that one small slip up here means instant death and making his confidence seem totally out of place. Feeling the tension, she asks if he's absolutely sure about this, only to get a cocky smile right back, while Chen Bo glares from afar, desperate for a front row seat to watch this rookie embarrass himself in expert mode. They push through the pitch black, thick forest until the eerie feeling of the map pressed down on them so hard that vines suddenly shot up from the ground, making Nia Yen scream for everyone to scatter immediately. Useless Chen Bo freezes in fear just as a vine shoots straight for him, wrapping him tightly and slamming him hard into the dirt in a cloud of dust, only for a demonic tree-faced dryad to suddenly appear and glare down at the whole party. Trapped and slowly crushed by the plant's deadly grip, the salty thief panics and screams out to the captain for help, begging to be saved. Seeing the guy being crushed by the monster, the party forms up to fight, so Nia Yen quickly moves the tanks to the right and tells the mages to pour all their magic on the enemy. As the warrior shouts into his call, a brave fighter rushes forward to smash a giant tree branch against his shield, while another fighter immediately follows up to cut right through the monster's tough wood. To finish the combo, a huge wave of magic rains down from every angle, blasting the monster and causing a massive explosion that instantly destroys the dryad. Crashing hard into the ground, the jealous guy faceplants right after the plant goes down, then jumps up furious to accuse our boy of staying quiet about the dryads on purpose. Clapping right back, Nia Yen notes that even the tank managed to dodge, while the thief couldn't, so Tang Yao leaps into the beef and thoroughly roasts him for his trash skills. Right then, Yulan tells everyone to calm down and asks the guy if he's embarrassed himself enough, while Nia Yen cuts the drama short to warn about the traps and says he's going to teach this dude how to actually play. The squad dives deeper into the spooky woods with the new kid leading the way, running carefully until he shouts a warning just as a giant log crashes down, but he dodges it like a pro and uses the momentum to smash a hidden trap on the ground. Our boy keeps moving fast, dodging a flurry of darts flying at him, and spots a safety net hanging in the trees right ahead, ready to catch him. Without slowing down, he pulls out his dagger and shreds the trap apart just in time, leaving the crew staring at the floor in shock as they realize just how wild he is when acting like a thief. Yuan is blown away and praises his own agility while the salty guy mutters to himself, but the annoying dude refuses to lose face, sprints ahead, and brags that he can do it easily too. But the moment he takes his first step, he lands right on a hidden pressure plate that makes the floor give way, dropping him instantly into a pit full of sharp spikes. He looks down in pure panic, knowing he's done for, until a hand suddenly snatches his arm with all its might and pulls him out of trouble. Yanking the man back up, our leader tosses the useless thief far onto the dirt away from the trap, then stares him down with ice-cold eyes and says he has never seen a worse thief in his entire life. Jumping back to his feet, the ungrateful jerk blames our boy for setting the trap, while the furious Tang Yao shouts at him for being so ungrateful after just being saved. With a cool attitude, the MC mocks the thief for being unprepared and useless, which makes the thief so angry he draws his dagger and demands a deadly fight. Without waiting for a reply, he roars that he's going to kill him, but Nia Yen just walks right past his bare fist attack and mocks him for needing backup, leaving the jealous guy stunned while the girls step in to tell him to stop blaming the man who literally just saved his life. He dug himself deeper into his lies, couldn't understand why everyone was protecting the new guy, and even the tank had to step in to shut him up because their leader did nothing wrong. Watching the entire squad turn against him, he laughs out loud and sarcastically wonders how they plan to beat the dungeon, only to turn his back just as the system pops up declaring that the useless guy has already quit the party. After Cha-Cha apologized for the drama, the MC told him he was better off without him, so Neon quietly decided to start his own team for future dungeon runs. Shifting gears, the leader demands everyone's full attention because they still need to clear the dungeon, and just half an hour later, they bump into 18 dryads while our hero points out that he already knows every detail of the area. With her stress finally fading as he promises they won't fight all at once, she lets out a breath while he steps forward to the front, ready to launch his wild plan. Sprinting straight at the monsters by himself, the kid leaves his entire squad confused as he pulls a glowing blue obelisk out of his inventory. With a smug grin, he boasts about his god-tier monster pulling, then suddenly whips out a crossbow and fires a huge burst of bolts that scatter wildly across the forest, sending the crew into a fresh panic as they fear his aim has slipped and they're all about to die. He completely ignores their panic, commands the tank to move to a precise spot where the guy blindly obeys, and right on cue, the bolts hit their mark, waking up several dryads in the middle of the pack. The main group splits as the aggressive beasts charge straight at them, leaving the leader speechless with this legendary three-point pull. Completely shocked, the leader asks how he managed to separate 18 monsters that were stacked so close together, and right then Cha-Cha realizes that if they'd had him from the start, the squad's win rate would skyrocket. Suddenly, two of the beasts they pulled start charging right at the party, so our hero orders the tank to hold one back while everyone else focuses on the other. He charges straight at the first monster while plain water holds back the second, and everyone is so relieved that the plan actually worked. After quickly ending the first threat, the leader shouts that they're heading to help the tank, then the blonde rushes in to land a huge blow right in the center of the beast the tank was holding. The attack lands with such force it drops the creature instantly, causing a glow to appear on the ground the moment it falls so the team can grab the loot. After grabbing the bronze tier mage gloves, the leader reminds everyone this loot only drops in expert mode, while Cha-Cha asks how our hero pulled off such an insane play. He smiles, reminds her he promised to carry the team, tells them to just run the exact same strat again, and as the squad sticks to the game plan, they pull more monsters way far out from the main pack. Without missing a beat, they keep the hunt alive, taking down enemies one by one while the new kid's brilliant calls make the whole team move like a single perfect machine. 20 minutes later, the entire zone is empty, leaving the salty thief hiding in the trees and seething with rage after the others took all their expected loot. Neon stands up, beaming with excitement and warning that clearing this spot is just the beginning, promising that the loot ahead will only get crazier. He gives the squad a quick break and leads them down a fresh path, trusting the kid to guide them west even though the route seems shady. We marched through the pitch-black path right behind our friend, but when a flute sound suddenly broke the silence, our leader whispered that he had found his target. As the MC reached the hilltop and saw an old man, the system whispered that this nameless man is a guardian NPC and the Dryad shepherd. Remembering how humans and monsters once lived in peace until dark elves arrived and turned the beasts into a bloodthirsty mob, which is why the council hired us, the old man now looks down at our group and screams that we must run, warning us that dryads are deadly at night. Nia Yen steps forward with total respect and tells him they're here to wipe this evil off the map, but the old man snaps back with pure hate, blaming it all on the flute thieves who are probably laughing at them right now. With the girls left speechless by this secret mission, even Sha has lost all idea of who the MC truly is, while the salty guy hides in the shadows, foaming at the mouth in disbelief over how this kid became so insanely powerful. Nodding to the old man, our boy says the light will punish whoever caused all this chaos, while the elder, stunned that they know the truth, curses the two dark elves who stole his flute. Handing over some glowing powder that instantly reveals anyone nearby, he sends them on a mission to take out the duo and get his flute back. He turns back to the squad, holding the key item, and simply orders them to follow close behind before grabbing a vine and instantly scaling the massive stone wall. He scrambled up the cliff face like a monkey, showing off his perfect control of the game's movement, and once they reached the top, the leader asked if he could track down those elves in the pitch-black dark. As the squad squeezes along a razor-thin path under the eerie glow of the moon, he freezes them in place to warn that the two dark elves are walking right into a trap. Totally lost, the healer asks how he could be so sure about where those guys are hiding, and with a sudden jump scare, the girl turns to look behind her, freezing in fear at what he says. With a smug grin, the MC reveals that the invaders are stuck to their backs like glue, warns the duo they're super skittish, and insists their strike has to be flawless and deadly. Then, a silent shadow creeps through the rocks, watching the group from a high cliff as they walk through the canyon. With a smug grin, the kid crushes the powder in his hand, revealing the duo hiding below as the dust spreads to expose them, causing the creatures to rip off their disguises and turn into pointy-eared elves, prompting one to scream at his partner to run away. But the squad was already hiding in the dark, blocking the duo's only way out, and one elf went wild, roaring and leaping straight at the armored player. But the two warriors square up to stop the attack with their weapons, and right after, one flashes a smirk as he begins charging a fire spell. With a deafening roar, the blast hits the elf square in the chest, wrapping the tiny creature in a sea of fire, which triggers the leader to scream for help and charge in with a tank to back up the fight. With Nien shouting for his men to kill them all and pointing out the flute, the boy vanishes in an instant and strikes his target before anyone can react. With a perfect spin, he strikes the beast so quickly it can't dodge, dealing a huge 50 damage hit while his teammates take out the other elf with a powerful blow, clearing the enemies and letting him grab their loot. Snatching the infamous flute that halves the Dryad's power, he basically seals their victory before Shet Shao breaks the quiet to yell our guy over for a fresh drop. Holding up an old document, the kid asks if it's a letter, and since the paper reveals the tribe's attack plans, it instantly starts a brand new side quest. With no one knowing Alvin's strange tongue, the team decides to focus on clearing the dungeon, and suddenly everyone is dreaming big about the sweet loot they're going to find. After the guy hands off the flute and gains a big boost of health, the leader gives the go-ahead and the entire squad moves forward instantly without any doubt. Watching closely, Tang Yao is completely amazed by how much the team now respects his friend, and with a huge smile of pride, he whispers to himself that this is exactly what he expected from his absolute brother. As they go deeper into the woods, a giant tree monster jumps out from the shadows to attack, and the squad leaps right into the fight with spells flying everywhere until a huge wooden tentacle smashes down, forcing everyone to scatter instantly while the tank blocks it with his new bronze shield, amazed by how well it works. As Cha Cha walks up looking a bit nervous, she awkwardly asks if she can just buy that item for her own build, but Mian stays super chill and hands over the shield since he only cares about thief gear anyway. After thanking him for the solid, the healer apologizes for being a bother and gets a smile in return, just as the ground suddenly starts shaking violently with massive roots ripping up the dirt and exploding everywhere, causing someone to scream for everyone to stay alert while our leader grips the flute and warns them that the boss has finally arrived. With a roar, the beast swings its giant wooden arm, sending everyone scrambling, but our hero barely gets out of the way before the crushing blow lands. With a slick backflip, he easily dodges the hit and lands safely, leaving the squad in shock as a level 2 thief takes on a lord so casually. Taking charge, he commands the tank to push forward while telling the mages to stay 30 yards back, but when the tank attacks, it does almost no damage and simply complains about how tough the enemy is. Seeing the trouble, Nya Yen yells with all his might to get the mages moving, and they fire their spells without any hesitation, hitting the Dryad King hard from every angle while a magical storm pours down on him, so don't forget to smash that like button if you want the next part.